know, buddy. I want to go for a ride too, but I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon, my friend. I'm sad panda about it too. I know. But welcome to Top Shop, guys. Kind of just out here being super frugal because I haven't made a run in a couple weeks, so I'm not in a predicament to spend any money. But want to make some progress and trying to figure out my firewall situation here, because it's not going to cost me any money to make a little bit of progress, I suppose. And kept thinking to myself, I'd really like to shave this firewall, but it's a lot of effort. Oh, you are super sad panda. Are you going to make it? I'm sorry. But I was like, it'd be nice to have heat in here at some point in time. And I went back and forth about it. And I kind of started tearing apart the dash, and my heater switch literally crumbled. At which point in time I was like, fuck it. Whatever. We don't need heat. I don't really drive when it's cold. So I guess shaved firewall it is. At this point in time, I jumped in here, destroyed my little cardboard glove box here. Hopefully I can get a new one of those. There's been a mouse hanging out in there anyways. And there's just a couple screws that hold this little cover in place. And that gets your, let me kick some light on. Okay, so just a couple screws. And this guy, get you a little box off here. And I think I'm just gonna be able to pop these two nuts off, and that should slide right out. As far as the heater core, I don't know this to be a fact yet, but I'm willing to bet I'm gonna have to pull most of my dash out to make that happen, which sad face, but sad face dog, because as far as I can tell, I don't really see any way to get to it yet. So we're gonna get this out of here at least for right now, and just keep trucking along. We're gonna make some progress in some sort. We're gonna do something today. I don't know why I expected that to fight me. Get off of there. Get off of there. Okay, so you're just gonna come right out then, right? Kinda? Grab that for me. Gret, you're useless. You're adorable, but you're useless. Get out of the way. Out of the way. Well, that's annoying, but you're not really attached by anything then, are you? Is that my... Ooh. That's my heater core lines. Can I get you in there? That's my heater core lines. Okay. This thing really isn't held in here that much. I didn't really want to pull this whole thing out of here, but I mean, if it's just dangling loot... What is this even held on here by? Nothing? Nothing? Is it you? Is that all that's left holding this fucking dash in here? I would think it would be more than that. I guess we'll find out, huh? Scusi. Oh, scusi. I like to say I need to be more careful about this, but I don't necessarily have any intentions in reusing any of it, so it doesn't... I prefer not to be tearing up my floor insulation here, but I think it's just going to come out, isn't it? Kinda. Well, I'm going to wiggle this out of here. Got it. So, looks like I'm just going to unscrew this guy and this guy, and there was just a little plug right there. And with a little brute force, it kind of just came out of the way. Guess we'll get this coil out of the way. All these self-tappers. Nothing but the best at Eppy's Chop Shop. You know how we do. What is this? Looks like your mom's nipple. What is that? Can I see it from in here? No. Oh, it's probably this guy, maybe. It probably is. Probably what's holding on this last little bit of insulation here. Oh yeah, that's what it is. I'm getting a cramp. Ow! Oh! Don't look at me like that. I got channel locks right here. Got him. I got your nipple. It looks like your fucking carrot. You can't have that. It's a dog dick. That's what it is. We don't need dog dicks where we're going. Really don't have a plan of attack here, guys. I'm kind of just eyeballing stuff as I go. There's another dog dick right here. That can go. That's just holding in that disintegrating foamy insulation. We'll go ahead and we'll lay more of our own insulation in there once we get that out of the way, because with the heater system out of there, this stuff's gross. We'll put our own back in there, but we'll worry about that here in a little bit. I'm kind of just seeing what I can get out of the way, because from this line down, I want to wire wheel, weld up all the holes, and paint it. So I want under my hood to look pretty, and not everything I can completely get rid of. I mean, obviously we're still going to have right there for our throttle assembly, our master cylinder and steering column are still going to come through. Our wiring mess, which luckily I have friends that I'm hoping to twist their arm and come help me with this, because I don't, wires are like magic, black magic to me. I don't understand how they work, but I would like to do like kind of a wire tuck on this thing. I don't really want to see any of the shit when I put the truck back together, and not all of it works the greatest anyways. So see if maybe I can buy myself, or if my friends are good enough, just to run me a super simple setup on this truck. But I don't want to go tearing out all this just yet. Not yet. But we can get this other dog dick out of the way, get that foam out of the way. I'm going to assume these are probably for my, I was going to say accelerator pedal, but that would be the wrong side. So that's probably clutch pedal. Derp, derp, derp. So those are probably going to have to stay there. I'm not getting carried away. Anything that I don't use, I just want to get rid of it, shave it, paint it, and yeah. All right, Midas. All right, friend. But so I'm hoping to make some runs here soon. I was debating on blowing this all apart and like starting to clean up and paint my fenders, but then I got to thinking, like, I have no idea how much wheel and tire clearance I'm going to have in my fenders once this thing sits all the way down to the ground. And I would hate to take all the effort to paint these and make them look all pretty, and then couldn't come to find out the wheel and tire combo that I'm going to run doesn't allow this thing to lay all the way down to the ground. Hey, stop trying to steal the show. Sure. Blit. It's pulling some half-ass measurements. It's real close. I think I'm willing to bet I'm gonna have to probably do some cutting and some modifying, which also kind of intimidates me because this is thin. You're being extra read all about it today, aren't you? But yeah, I'm gonna get that dog dick out of there, pull that foam out of there, and drink some beer, play with my dog. Alright guys, so it's like I don't know, 3 weeks later since I pulled out the heater box and the blower motor and everything. At this point in time, it's probably time for me to wire wheel this firewall. They're kind of putting it off because it's going to be a lot of work, but, you know, high payoff. But one of the reasons I've been putting it off is, I'm sure you guys have noticed, I'm not necessarily the best metal guy. I mean, I make metal stick together, but as far as being a fabricator, a welder, not quite there yet. But my initial thought was to make this as easy as possible and just plug, hi friend, hi, and just plug these holes. But then that's going to leave me with this indentation. You are not much help. You are adorable, but you are not much help. You are not. But that's going to leave me this indentation and then this kind of hump here for no reason. And it just doesn't make any sense to me to take the effort to remove all that, shave this firewall, and then have a big ass dimple and a big old moon in here for no reason. So I think this one's going to be pretty easy. I think I'm just going to be able to basically probably cut most the way around this, and then maybe makeshift hammer dolly it flush and weld it back in. Or since I have to plug both these holes anyways, reminds me of your mom. It might just be easier just to cut all the way around like this into the circle, then just make a patch panel and fill all that in at once. That's how your mom likes it to be, all filled in at once. But over here, that's pretty big. That's what your mom said. Kind of thinking maybe if I can cut along this, maybe I can pull this out then. I don't know. At that point in time, again, I'm cutting from here all the way around to here. Is it just going to be easier just to cut this whole freaking section out? I don't know. I might have to stare at this a little bit longer and figure out how I want to attack.
We got one of them figured out, don't we, Fuzzy Buddy? Don't we? Don't we? We're only half as dumb as we look, huh?
Okay, so at least on the smaller guy, I got to rub my fingers around the edge of it and everything, and it's not just elevated here, it's also indented in on this side. So it's just going to make more sense to take that whole section out. You can kind of half-ass see my Sharpie mark. That's the way we're going to attack that guy. Okay, so it's not the prettiest hole, but you know, insert your mom joke. You know, it doesn't really matter because we're just gonna make a patch panel, weld that all up, and then it's gonna be all smooth anyway. So it doesn't really matter what the shape of the hole is. Went ahead and ground them down. Man, that was kind of a pain in the arse to get cut out, at least with the cheap blades that I have and tools that I have. So, dirt. I wonder if I like wire wheel right here and maybe pull this out. But then I'm still patching these holes. I gotta patch 3 holes instead of just one big one. So I've decided just to cut this out. So otherwise I'm filling this hole, filling this hole, filling this hole, having to bring this out, cut, trim, shape. It just makes more sense just to do just one big panel here, at least to me. wasn't so bad. That wasn't so bad. And, you know, there might have to be some trimming, maybe some hammering and dollying, obviously, yet. But I mean, nothing like having to cut a moon and then pull that out and then hammer and dolly and then do some cutting and some trimming and some hammer and dollying and then cutting and trimming and then still have to fill those 3 fucking holes in. So I think this was just the easier route to go. My personal amateur ass decision or opinion, but did these break? To see, we work with only the best at Eppy Shop. At this point, I need to find some metal because I actually don't have any. I have this. I have this, and that's not even enough to do that. So your boy needs to acquire some metal somewhere. I don't even have nothing I can cut apart, do I? We'll figure it out, I suppose. None of it's flat. I was gonna say we have to replace the fender on the Lightning. It's this one. This one is rusty, so we're replacing this. Am I gonna cut up a Lightning fender to shave my firewall with? How thick is that? I might be. I'm gonna have to ask the wife if she's okay with that. So we're gonna replace this anyways. So I don't think she'll care. So this may not be a surprise to you guys, but I got super sidetracked because of a Facebook Marketplace purchase, which I'm sure some of you guys can agree to. Or agree to. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Relate to? How about that? That's a sentence that makes sense. Anyway, said purchase resulted in me pulling the whole rear end out of my truck because I found a set of original Firestone pie crust cheater slicks. They're recaps, and they have all of the tread still on them, and they're not even dry rotted. They're on Chevy rims, which is whatever. Geely's are relatively cheap, but I haven't really let you guys know what my plan besides bagging it and the crown vic. I haven't really let you know kind of vibe or style I'm going for, and I guess what I'm going for is I'm pulling a little bit of inspiration from traditional gassers and kind of street freaks and mini trucks, if that makes any sense. So we're gonna end up with a bagged gasser. And now that probably now makes sense about the pie crusts. And look at that. I had to pull the whole damn axle. We're swapping that out anyways, so whatever. But dude, that looks so sick. And we've got another 6 inches or so we're gonna end up going once this thing is bagged and 4-linked. Hi, you're interrupting my glamour shot here. So dude, I'm stoked. And then on the front we're gonna end up with probably the Rocket brand launchers, some 5.5 inch little pizza cutters up front. So that's what we're gonna end up with. And I think that is going to be a killer look. You have poop breath. You. Why do you have poop breath? Your breath smells like butthole. You're gross. But, fuck yeah, dude. I was playing around with it, and with the axle in there, I couldn't get it to sit low, and sitting up high, it just looks god-awful, and I was like, damn it. I have no other envisions on the way that I want this truck to look than bagged on pie crust cheater slicks with white walls. I have no idea. That's what I wanted to do, but it looked horrible sitting up in the air. But sitting down, boy, shit, yeah. And I only had to cut my bed a little, just a little. Now we're gonna end up. I knew that I was gonna have to cut all this up anyways, and I'm probably gonna do I'm gonna redo my little. I don't really want to call it a raised bed floor because it's not really that, but we're going to end up doing an actual raised bed floor, probably coming up to, I thought about only right here, but seeing as how the tire comes up way higher than that, I'll probably go ahead and shit, we might as well just go ahead and come all the way up and just not have a bed anymore, because tire. But then I don't know, we'll figure it out. That's still a long ways down the road, but stay tuned. Midas, come in here, please. Sir, hey, why do I always gotta call you 3 times like Beetlejuice, motherfucker? But yeah, now that I have made a mess in the garage and all my tools are out and I don't have any room to work, I suppose I'm going to continue making a mess, and I had permission to cut up that fender to do my firewall. And also, I went and got can't get them. Jeez. Some of these little boogers. So these are obviously going to help me provide the gap that I need for when I do that butt welding. For speaking of butthole breath, sir. You know, after eating poop, God, you're lucky you're adorable. You and your mom are both lucky you're fucking adorable, or I wouldn't tolerate to either of you. Or maybe, not that I really care about the fender because it's being replaced. Get your poop breath out of here, motherfucker. I think I might have to hammer it flat, but I mean, bro, with the poop breath. Jesus Christ. But I think I might go this route. I mean, this is just scrap metal otherwise, right? And then I can for sure use the rest of that piece or that piece to, what are you doing, Fabo? To do that for show. So I ended up using that piece of fender I cut out. Different section that I showed though. See a little line. I hammered it down a little bit. We'll grind it down the rest of the way. But I don't know if you'll be able to see it, the angle I put it at. I think maybe I should have grabbed a magnet. But I think, well, fuck. Anyway, I think we grind this down. It's gonna be just about perfect. Boom. So we got our pieces. And again, I literally just used the pieces that I cut out of the bed to make my new tires fit to make these. And I have managed to squeeze in a few of these, what the fuck do you call them? Butt welding clamps. And as you see, they kind of just make sure everything stays flush. I need to get that guy butted up a little bit more. I might have actually screwed myself. I think that might be tucked back in behind there, but you kind of get the gist of it. You get these guys on there. This block goes behind, and then as you tighten this down, it holds, not only holds your piece in place, it also makes an attempt to holding it flush. I need to flush that up more good, but otherwise, I'm real close to pretending that I know how to weld. And again, I'm not an experienced welder, so I don't really know what amperage or anything I really want to set this up to, but I am going to try this spot timer out for the first time. So let's just see what should do. This welding kind of sucks too, I can't see shit. Yep. I don't like that. That looks like it might be a bit hot. Well, that was like a fucking 14-minute long spot. What was that? What the fuck was that? That was me just pulling the trigger once, and that was the spot timer. I kept going the rest of the way. Going good for a minute there. Fuck me, I am not good at welding thin shit, guys. But many foul words and 1,000 tack welds and probably some warpage. We're real close. I got a hole right there I can see. There's gonna be a mess right here. But at this point in time, I kind of want to grind it down and just see where we stand. Well, fellers, that's both holes filled. I'm off to the same at your mom's. Oh, I'm stupid. Anyway, I think that's what I'm going to call it for the night. I went ahead and filled that little guy in too. Gotta grind that down. It looks like I do have a little warpage, which is fine. I mean, look at the rest of the fucking truck. Alrighty. It is next day. And I don't know if I showed you guys this or not before I went to bed. I don't think I did. Boom. Before I went to bed, I decided to put this thing on the ground so I could see for real what it's gonna look like when it's done. At least as down as I could go. It's actually just sitting on an I-beam, and in the back it's just sitting on a brick on one side, just enough for me to get a fucking jack back under it. But I am happy with that. Obviously not the front rim that I'm going to be running, but we're gonna work on wrapping this video up. Garage is a freaking mess now. I have 3 videos to edit now. I do this one. See, mini bike frame is completely stripped down and all in one piece. So we got that video. We just drove the Diplomat today, but basically where I'm at, get that burned down. I want to grind that down. I'm probably just going to shoot some primer on it just to prevent it from rusting, because I still have all of this to figure out how I'm going to attack. I got obviously a couple little small holes and stuff I want to fill, and I want to like basically wire tuck this thing. So I need some of my friends who are more gooder at wires than I am, because I am not electrically inclined. So before I go pulling wires out completely, I want to have them come over here and advise me on the route to go with that. But yeah, I think I got see one little hole right there I want to hit. I'll probably fill this guy in real quick. We're gonna grind this down, shoot some primer on here, and we're gonna get this video wrapped up after that, so I can do some editing and actually get out some of this freaking content that I have all on my phone ready to go. So I'm gonna drink some brewskis and kind of just chill. So let's get some work done, edit some videos, drink some beer. Alright, so I lied. I went ahead and hit her with some fiberglass glaze, and I normally putty a lot better than this, despite the fact that this is literally just an undercoat to fill in all the imperfections. This isn't by any means, obviously, the finished coat. I struggle bust real hard with this. My supplies are getting real thin, and this shit is old, but like I'd literally never seen. I popped this open, and it was almost like, can you see in there? No, not really. It was almost as if some hardener had gotten in here. And let me flashlight you. Look at this. I've never seen hardener harden, or a putty harden without hardener. So half of it was good, and for whatever reason, the other half of it had set up. I don't know what was up with that, but I did manage to mix me up a batch, but with it kind of doing whatever the frick it's doing. And I may or may not have gotten just a smidgen carried away with the hardener. I hadn't mixed any in a while. It was setting up on me super duper fast. But again, we're gonna knock off like 99.9% of this. I just wanted to put that in there to fill in all the little imperfections of my welds. You can kind of even see I might have to right there again. But again, it's not gonna be perfect, guys. It's obviously a rat roddy style type truck, and if you look at the rest of the firewalls, I started wire wheeling and everything. Like, there's ripples right there, there's ripples down here, there's ripples over here, and I'm not trying to do like a mirrored finish perfect. Not like I'm going to SEMA. SEMA isn't even a good example. Most of those fucking vehicles look just fucking like this, except that they fucking bondo the shit out of them and wrap them with some fucking expensive wrap that's all flaky, so you can't even fucking tell. I'm not saying there are not. beautiful, meticulously done cars at SEMA, because there is. It's kind of a dick move to say that. But a lot of those cars have shit like this right underneath of them. So I don't feel bad about it. But that is where we are wrapping up this episode. I lied to you. Again. I know this is twice now instead of the wrapping up the episode, but I lied to you. Get the fuck over it. Got a little more work done. Feathered all that shit. Fiberglass filler down. I'm going to work this a little bit more. I think this little spot right here, I'm going to assume that happened because I did jump around when I did my tack welds, but not nearly as much as I should have. I also didn't use like a rag to cool anything down. So I'm going to assume this little dip right here was a me thing. But I mean, as you can see, there's all kinds of ripples from the original stamping. I mean, all through here, all through here, all through here. It's all over the whole thing. So I'm not going for perfection. And honestly, that doesn't really bother me. But I'm probably going to sand down this skim coat and do another skim coat of some glass that hasn't set up and isn't totally garbage. And that's probably where that will sit until I jump over to do this side, get the wires out and everything. And then we'll do a nice finishing glaze coat. Go back through, make everything look as pretty as we can. But while I'm staring at the rear end, let me know your guys' opinion. Do you guys have any experience with these Dana 44s? I know a lot of Jeep guys use them, and they run like big, like 35, 36-inch tires, and really beat on them. My original plan was to swap out that rear end with like an 8.8 or a 9-inch. Long story short, after dealing with all the Facebook fuckheads, like I just wanted this thing out of the way to have some money to go buy another rear end. I'm damn near giving this thing away. And really the only reason I'm actually getting rid of it is because it's the 5x5.5 lug pattern, which limits my wheel choices. However, I can get some nice chrome moly axles for like $300 that in fact I can get them with the Chevy bolt pattern, so I wouldn't even have to switch my rims then. So I'm going to be saving a couple $100 and not having to get different rims. And the 4-link that I want to use actually like sits right up in these pockets, so I wouldn't have any welding or necessarily any fabricating. I would just have to swap out axle shafts. It's already got the mini spool in it. It's got new brake lines, new brakes, new wheel seals. Like, I feel like it'll handle every bit of the 300 horse I'm probably going to make. Let me know what you guys think about it. Let me know. Or ditch the rear end, or just do what we normally do and use what we have laying around and make it work. But I am done lying to you now. I am going to end this episode, and I'm heading back out. I've been on the road. This is like 2 weeks after I ended the episode last time. So going back on the road, hopefully have enough money to go buy my heads finally. I've only put a down payment on them. I need to go pay those rest of the way off and pick them up. I need to start getting some Crown Vic shit. Get rid of this DJM stuff. I feel like that should sell relatively easy. Also, thank you to the couple people who hit me up that were interested in it. I'm sorry that I couldn't sell it for cheap enough that it was worth the trip. I've had like 3 subscribers be interested in it, and you know, I can obviously sell it for a discounted price because it's used, but I also can't give it away because I'm poor most of the time. But yeah, no, I appreciate you guys hitting me up about that. I really do. And again, I'm sorry I couldn't really, make it more worth your trip, dollar amount wise, fuel efficiency wise. I am sorry, but I do appreciate you guys, and I appreciate all you guys in general for hanging out. And I'm hoping by the time this video comes out, which will probably be tonight, maybe, we should only be like maybe 50 watch hours away from finally being monetized. So if you happen to still be here at this end of this episode, thank you. I genuinely appreciate it, because it's you guys who watch these videos all the way to the end that makes that number go up. So thank you. But enough rambling. I'm out of here. Doodles.